Hi, John here again. I want to talk today about after the separation with the narcissist and the post-traumatic stress disorder that can occur. Now, I have gone through this a few times myself, and along with chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic depression, I'm quite familiar with this. Now, first of all, it's such a shock when a person first sees that they were living with this strange person with no emotion. And when they've come to see that these people are narcissists, that they're empty beings, they have no substance, they have no emotion, and all they've been doing is putting on a show just so they could get supply from you, because they are empty beings. They are like robots. And coming to this reality, it's in a marriage, for example, if you were to marry a narcissist like this and finally come to the realization who you'd married, it's like insanity. It's like marrying a blow-up doll, something that isn't real, something that's empty. It's a human body with nothing in it. Now, I have gone through the PTSD a few times. Now, I can remember the 3 marriages I did have. After the first one, the PTSD wasn't as severe because I wasn't very serious about this particular relationship. It was back when I was around 30 years old. So I hadn't really settled down yet to this. I did go through the trauma, though, and I did go through the chronic fatigue syndrome. I had seen numerous doctors about this. A lot of doctors just say it's all in your head, and it is a fact that there is chronic fatigue syndrome. There is no reason that could be diagnosed because I didn't realize the chronic fatigue came from the initial growing up stage when I was brought up with a narcissist mother, and the relationships I would pick are with narcissistic people, and these being empty beings, you're really like holding on to air. And the chronic fatigue would come, the post-traumatic stress. I would spend months at a time totally fatigued, not being able to function at all. And I had gotten through it. But after going through especially a long-term relationship with a narcissist, a person can be so traumatized coming to a realization that the person they were with is just an empty being. Of course, you created, developed a love for this person, and what you really fallen in love with is nothingness, an empty shell posing as a human being. So the PTSD, I have heard people say before, well, PTSD, you weren't in the war. Well, that's old-fashioned thinking. It's such a common thing, especially in this society today. There's so much stress in society today. And with the majority of marriages breaking up, it's a very common thing, post-traumatic stress disorder. And I had gone through one event. It lasted over 5 years. Now, it lasted this long because I didn't understand that the relationship I was in prior to the PTSD coming on to me, I wasn't aware of this person being a narcissist, an empty being, just looking to see what that person could do to harm me and what they could gain from me. And so them years of not knowing were very difficult. And nobody could tell me, nobody could explain it to me. It seems like it's a deep secret. But in the last relationship I was with, after getting over that and then coming to the realization, well, I was loving like a blow-up doll, like an empty thing that appeared to be a human being. This is what a malignant narcissist is. They're an empty being. And of course that's going to drive you crazy, realizing, well, you're loving nothing. Well, yes. And the PTSD after this one did last close to a year. But the thing that got me out of this was the realization of why I was traumatized. I was traumatized because I now knew that I was with a narcissist and what a narcissist is. And that was the reason for the PTSD. And I got over it much quickly. The knowledge of knowing what the PTSD is that you're experiencing, when you understand what is causing it, the healing is much faster. Now, the mind takes a long time to heal. It's a very slow healing organ in your body. But understanding what the sickness is in the brain, understanding the reasoning for the PTSD, speeds that healing up 5 times as fast. You will get through it. And the reason you'll get through it is because you understand why you are traumatized. If you didn't understand why you were traumatized, it could go on for the rest of your life, possibly. But knowing why you are traumatized, that is where the freedom comes. That's where the healing comes. And you will be healed. Just keep yourself aware of who you are and the type of people that would take advantage of you, the narcissists, and stay aware of it. Now, I thank you for listening, and I'll get back to you in my next video. And I ask you to subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you later.